All right, folks, welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I am joined with Jaguar Wright. And I was just discussing with Jaguar before we went live or before we started recording the commonalities we have. We both came from, I guess you could say, the entertainment world. I was a heavyweight
Yeah.
champion boxer. She was music. There's a lot of similarities there. And we both have to pay with our flesh, it seems like, right?
By the
Jaguar,
pound.
what's that?
I said by the pounds.
Yeah, literally. Jaguar, thank you so much for joining me. I gotta say, let's just kick it off like this. 2024 to me was like a year of great reveal, great exposure. I feel like 2025 is going to be a year of more reveal, but also justice. I've been following the deep state war behind the scenes now for the last, well, really, I've been awake for about 15 years, but really commentating on this for the last 5 years. And I feel like now we are in that stage, the next phase of this war where the hammer of justice is going to be coming down and we're going to start hearing some big names being revealed. Before we touch on that, before we go there, first of all, I just want to say I'm honored and I'm very thankful for you to come on. And I want to talk about you first, your credentials. How did you get started in music? And when did you start seeing this really dark side of music?
Well, my story is complicated because it's my whole life. My grandfather was an entertainer. His goal was to make the Cotton Club. I made Madison Square Garden. Talk about getting things complete. I've seen the evil side of the industries before I became an artist. I mean, part of the reason why they all became so angry with me when I started speaking actively out against it, it was because I already knew what it was before I hit the scene. I worked behind the scenes in music long before I became an artist. I started interning at Philadelphia International Records for my uncle, Kenny Gamble, who's my music godfather, Sound of Philadelphia, all of those great records that Kanye West sampled that made him considered a genius before he really truly found his genius. My
So
life is always
you knew what you
had
were
to play
getting
with
into.
order.
You knew before you went into the music industry. You already knew what it was about.
Yes,
You
I
weren't
knew what it
walking
was
in doughy
about.
eyed and bushy tailed.
No, I was walking with my eyes wide shut. I thought I knew what I was walking into. I had no idea it was so much worse.
Wow.
You
All
know?
right. So so before we get into that, I mean, I've just being in the boxing world, I've gone to some crazy parties and things like that, and I've always thought to myself, there's some compartmentalization here. When I would go to certain parties, I see people going off into different rooms or people inviting me to other different kind of parties. And I was like, it's kind of weird. I'm not
Or
into
you
that.
bump into someone that you should have met a long time ago, and for whatever reason, y'all just kept missing each other. This is all orchestrated.
Explain that.
If you have a corporation that is controlling an artist, their number one main function is total isolation and total control.
The
If
handlers,
you got a
correct?
Exactly. If you got good friends in your life that'll tell you, "Hey man, that deal that they're telling you to sign is insane. Don't do it. You can figure out another way." Next thing you know, that person will be replaced by someone who's telling you how insane you are and how lucky you are and how this is the best opportunity of your life. Constant, constant bombardment and selection of who they have around you. The people that tell you the truth are the people that get fired. The people that lie, the people that line you up, that have you at this party, that make sure they take your phone, that make sure you get this drink. Like all of this it's
Manipulated.
completely orchestrated. And it's a system because they keep doing it to the same artists over and over and over again. And we keep watching it.
So with you, like when you first came into the scene, you had a breakout album, right? You worked with was it
Yeah.
Jay-Z? Was it
Yeah.
Jay-Z you started working with?
Yeah, I was
And
working with the Roots. I worked with Jay-Z. I worked with a lot of people.
what's the relationship with the Roots? There's conflict there right now, right?
Oh, there's not conflict. There's just out and out, flat out disgust.
Explain
They
that a little bit.
disgust me. I'm disgusted with them. I'm ashamed of what they become. I look at that picture right there and I see my friend Leonard Hubbard, deceased. I look at these pictures and I don't see Malik B, deceased. Half of the people that are in these pictures are people who worked with me.
Were they taken out?
In my opinion, as for Richard Nichols, as for Leonard Hubbard, as for Malik B, I would say at this point in time, I do believe they were sacrificed.
At a satanic level? Like to get
Yes,
ahead for other
yes,
people
there
to
was
get ahead?
witchcraft involved, which is why I stepped away from Rich. As much as I adored him and as much as I depended and relied on his tutelage and his genius, it was Richard Nichols that got me to truly see the genius in me. He discovered the Roots. He discovered me. Technically, he discovered Jill Scott. Technically, he discovered everything that was great in Philadelphia.
I've always
And
wondered. Let
I
me
was
ask you this.
always so confused when he didn't sign Beanie. I was always so confused. Beanie didn't want to go to New York. He wanted to sign Homegrown. And if Frank Bank hadn't have been unalived, that probably would have happened for him. But for whatever reason, they just kept ferrying everyone to New York. And now look at what that did. Do you know how disgusting it is to get away from all of the crazy wild rappers like Wu-Tang Clan and all of them? You know what I mean? I used to run with some rough ones in hip hop when I was a buck. But to leave that and then go to a socially conscious group, right? Or at least allegedly a socially conscious group where they care about the people and they care about the principle, and you find out they worse than the bad ones.
Much worse, huh?
It's like going to band camp and finding out it's a freak off.
Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Boy Scout. Yeah, this is it is like that. There's levels to this, right? So like
It's
let's
wild.
say
When I realized that the Roots had agreed to become the handlers and the gatekeepers for Philadelphia and allow Sean Carter to just come run all over our beloved city and destroy it. Yeah, it's utter disgust. I don't know what I'm allowed to say and not say, and I apologize to your editor. Fuck them bitches. Fuck every last one of them. Straight to hell.
You can say whatever you want to say here because this will go on Nino's Corner.tv and YouTube. The edited version will go on YouTube, but you can say whatever you want. I've always seen, I know there's levels to this, right? And I've always seen
they abandoned Theo Thomas.
Who's
Uncle Tom in English. It's so disgusting.
I know artists that start to make a name for themselves. They're coming up, and then they get invited to go sing at something like Sanctum, or get invited to go sing at another event where they can only wear thongs, and it's almost like they get tested, seeing what they're willing to do. And then they don't abide by the rules, or they opt out. They say nah, and then their career goes down the drain. They know that they can't be played anymore, right? Is that what happens here? Because I often wonder about these one-hit wonders, like from the 80s, the 90s, in the hip hop. They make one big hit, and then you never hear from them again. Yeah, and I wonder to myself, is it because they don't play ball?
The ones that objected to the foolishness. Why is it that all of the ones with average or less talent get to be the biggest, brightest, shining stars, but the most talented people are the ones that are always sidelined? Because, see, the less talented people need the corporation's help to look like what they look. Those with true talent, we don't need them. They need us. And encouraging that thought is anarchy. And I am an anarchist at heart. Fuck the establishment.
We'll get along. We'll get along perfect. So, what do you feel now? Now that 2024 came out and so when this really exploded on the scene in human consciousness, it was really Club Shay Shay. And I know you're out there doing your work. Club Shay Shay, Cat Williams got out there and said,
"Oh yeah,
everything's getting exposed 2024." And in my mind, I'm thinking, and here's what I'm thinking in my mind: for Cat Williams to come out and say that, I don't feel he's just going to go out on a limb and say that just to say it and risk everything. To me, there has got to be something happening behind the scenes where he felt confident enough to come on Club Shay Shay and throw everyone under the bus.
He knew, just like I knew. I'm so glad it was him. I'm so glad he kicked the door in. People keep thinking like there isn't a true effort. You know, just like there's an effort working for the negative agenda, there is one working for the positive. It might not be obvious, it might not be out there in your face, but everybody plays their part when they need to. And I had been waiting for 15 years for Cat to have that moment. So as a Cat Williams fan and someone who spent time with him and someone who loves him still to this day very dearly, I'm so proud. And I'm just king of the moment, you know? King of the moment. And it's amazing.
They ruined his career for not playing ball for a long time, right?
They tried to, or at least they worked hard to make it look like he wasn't successful. Kind of like how they do to Dame Dash. Kind of like how they've done to me.
But do you think there is some kind of was this done by a coordinated effort or by
absolutely
design? I mean, do you think maybe
it is the same protocol every time? Every time they pick a monster, every time they pick an enemy. The enemy is the conspiracy theorist who's the person that's actually telling the truth. And the monster is the person that they select to take on all of their sins so they can pretend like it's not them while they shame this one person. They do it every time. Nothing different, nothing new. What's the difference between Diddy and R. Kelly right now?
Right.
Nothing. What's the difference between R. Kelly and Bill Cosby? Nothing. What's the difference between Harvey Weinstein?
So do you think they use these people, right? Do you think they use these people for a period of time and then when they have no use for them anymore, they sacrifice them, they get rid of them?
Yeah.
So
this is pimp hoe culture.
Yeah.
I don't care how down the bottom bitch you are. You will get old. And someone more eager and willing to do more for less will come along.
So that's part of the deal. We'll give you all this power, but when we need you and we call your card, that's it.
See, this is the thing. Nobody believes it's going to happen to them.
But this all goes back to Masonic, occult, witchcraft, satanic stuff, right? That's what's really happening behind the scenes, correct?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what I really want to cover here because people don't really understand that at the very core of all of this is witchcraft.
They think it's movies and nightmare story book tales, and no, this is real. These people are using witchcraft to control your mind. And we're falling for it. As a whole, we're falling for it.
The
I'm on
music
YouTube.
themselves that's how they put spells in music, correct?
Yeah. It's hypnosis. Anything said in synchronicities of 3, it's a spell. Anything said in a melodic tone over and over, a mantra, a cadence, the hook. When we write songs, what do they call the chorus? The hook.
The hook, the loop, whatever. Yeah.
Because that's what it does. It hooks you in. You start saying this same thing over and over and over again, over and over and over again. You're not realizing that whatever it is that you're saying, you're calling it into your life.
It's a spell magic.
Yes.
Is
and
that
most
why
of these songs are meant to curse, and people are willingly cursing themselves.
Is that why Marina Abramovich, is that her name? The known witch,
Marina Abramovich.
She's been seen with all of them. She's at the very top of all this, I think. You know, I've seen her with Jay-Z. I've seen her with Diddy. She's
her
with
and
all
her
the politicians. Spirit cooking. I mean, she's with all of them. There she is wearing an upside down cross. I mean, does it get any louder than that? So, Jag, let me ask you, how did you get involved with Jay-Z and P. Diddy? I mean, what got you involved with him? I know you were featured on a Jay-Z's song, correct?
I was the voice of Jay-Z Unplugged, the greatest concert he's ever done in his career.
And at that point, you probably knew what? You were probably like, okay, this guy he's cool. I can work with him, but I don't like some of the shady stuff he does. Or
Actually,
did
it's
you
a lot
already
more
know?
complicated than that. I had already known him for quite some time by the time I did Jay-Z Unplugged. I had to pretend like I didn't know him. I had to pretend like I wasn't very aware. Truth is, I thought he would change.
Power, man. It's addictive.
I thought he would eventually do the right thing. And if you listen to anyone else that he's spurned in his miserable existence, we all have the same story. Now even Beanie Siegel is telling the exact same story that D. Haven told about when he was in court after he took a bullet for him. Look at how he done Dame. Look at how he done it's. Why is it so hard for people to just accept that people are who they are? What did that Maya Angelou? When people show you who they are the first time, believe them?
Believe them, yeah.
He screws over everybody that's ever been decent, kind, or good to him. He takes advantage of every situation, and he loves a good tragedy.
So let me ask you this. I've been seeing some really cryptic posts by Stephen Baldwin, and I know that's Bieber's, I guess, his father-in-law, right?
Yeah, the D-list, the bottom of the Baldwin boys.
Right. So what's your thoughts on that?
Didn't he get lucky? Didn't he get lucky having Bieber as a son-in-law?
But he's coming out with all kinds of videos and posts saying everyone's going to go down. I mean, really cryptic stuff. Obviously, I think
these people, this is all business.
Explain that. Is it? I thought Stephen Baldwin was referring to, P. Diddy, Jay-Z, all of them. Like,
oh yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but they all got their spot in hell.
But Stephen Baldwin, what's your thoughts on him then? Because now I'm a little confused.
Better to look like a whistleblower than a demon.
You're saying he's just as bad?
Of course he is. He's got his down and out in Las Vegas and LA moments that a lot of people don't talk about. This is the very troubled Baldwin boy. He's worse off than Daniel. None of them are Alec. I mean, they're the Jackson 5 of Mick Irish families.
He's Tito.
No, don't do that to Tito. Don't do that
Okay,
to
my
Tito.
bad. Sorry.
No. Rest in peace, Tito. Tito couldn't get a break, G. Can you imagine what it was like to be Tito?
That'd be horrible. Well, I mean,
His
Stephen
whole
Baldwin.
life. His whole life. No, if I was going to give Baldwin, he's Jermaine.
Jermaine?
He's Jermaine.
But okay, we all have a past. But do you think now that he's with Bieber, he's his father-in-law, do you think maybe
think
now he's putting out these videos?
Got a ATM, or should I say a AJM, automatically Justin's money.
Damn.
I'm sure, he feels real good. He finally get a little respect.
You don't think he's turned over a new leaf and he's protecting Justin and he's on Justin's side, or do you think he's using him?
I think Corey Haim has 10 times more balls than he ever could.
Oh, wow.
That's what I think. I'm tired of all of them and the way they play with these children.
So you think he may be manipulating Justin and using him as a cash
cow? Of course.
Damn.
Nobody cares about that young man. He is money. He is commodity. He is brand new Tesla. He is golf club membership. He's not a person. He's their black card. Like, I don't think that people understand the reason why most of these things get to stay hidden as well as they do is because the people that are helping keeping the frames up are the people who need it. Oh, yeah, they're going to tell the truth. And then he gets to go off and live his life. And now we ain't got no more Illuminati payments. We don't get no more perks. Like I don't think people understand. The second that these people sign contracts, they stop being people to even their family and friends. They're the meal ticket. They're the access. They're the juice.
What did they use?
How dare they? Do you know how many people were ready to walk away and their families allowed them to get sacrificed just so that they could get their cut of the insurance policy? Because, see, if they had left, then the family's out. Yeah, they may be happy, but what about the rest of us? Why couldn't you just keep it going? Why do you have to be so fucking selfish? What am I supposed to do? Make sandwiches? I'm the driver. Like, this is...
Everyone's in. Everyone's got their hands in the cookie jar, right?
Just like that.
So you think... So you're telling me... You're telling me that
I had to
Baldwin...
write down a list of everyone that ever betrayed me for money. I could write a full composition book, both sides. And I know everybody that's ever took money to betray me. I know exactly who all of them are. You know how wild that is? The next time you see someone who was supposed to love you, care about you, give a shit about you, and you look in their eyes and you realize it was all about the money.
It happened to me.
And they know that you know it happened to you.
Yeah.
Do you remember the look on that person's face? It's amazing, isn't it?
When I got knocked out after I was 36-0, and I just saw everyone, all 30 of my entourage, walk out of the arena acting like they didn't know me. Yeah, I know. Trust me, it's horrible. I felt it.
All of the money you spent, all of
Oh,
the
they didn't want to. They
car
didn't want to go with
rides you
me anymore.
paid for.
Yeah, they didn't want to go to anymore. They didn't want to go on trips with me anymore. And I
Oh
wasn't
no,
the champ.
they didn't want to be seen
Right,
with you.
right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it happened fast too.
No,
Happened
but you
real
wanna know what's
fast.
funny? Who the fuck was looking at them anyway?
Yeah, nobody.
Like, that's the funny part.
Yeah.
Cat always used to say it. Do you want to know who your greatest hater is? Look next to you.
Damn. Ooh. Man, that rings true. Especially for me. My so-called two best friends, gone now, turned out to be my worst enemies. After I
had
lost,
no idea.
They turned on me. They turned out to be my enemies.
Isn't it such an interesting place to be? After you find out who they really were, and you go back and you think about every conversation and all and the things that didn't seem so right, but you didn't want to be judgy and you didn't want to think, and turns out it was exactly what you was feeling the entire time.
Secret jealousy.
Yeah.
And hatred. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know they despised me and hated me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Cursed your name. Cursed your name the second they took money from you. You know what it says in the Bible? Thou shalt not cast thy pearls before swine. And if you do, they will turn on you like a pack of wild dogs and rend the flesh from your bones. Wow. That's what the Jesus said.
Yeah.
And you know what? That makes sense.
I learned that firsthand.
You know, I think we get caught up into survivor's remorse, winner's guilt. And we want everyone around us to still feel special too. And we make that our goal. To let them know I haven't forgotten you, to let them know I haven't changed, to let them know you're just as special too, to let them know, hey, dude, if you just follow the process, this could be you too. Like, I really believe in you too. Like, they don't realize all of the energy that you put into believing in them.
I used to give them the shirts off my back, man.
And then the disappointment that comes with that after. But what's really nasty though, the really nasty word, is how the attitude. But see, I seen you grovel when you needed me, and now you want to try to clown me in my face? Really? So if I hit you, now you're gonna sue me.
Exactly. And they want that.
Exactly. Totally. I get it. I feel your pain, G. Welcome to the club.
Oh yeah, no, it's been. I'm telling you, I've been there and done that, man. That's but I rather be the person I am today than who I was then. So I'm fine with it. I love seeing the true nature of humanity. It really woke me up and gave me a wisdom that I wouldn't. It's priceless. It's priceless. Yeah. The wisdom I have now, knowing the true nature of people, my so-called friends. I won't take any more of your time, but I do have one last question.
Sure.
Tupac.
What about it? You know Jada.
Well, I've seen video. I've seen video of Tupac when he was younger, and he looked very flamboyant, eccentric. Was he or was he not? I mean, I always looked at him as one of the realest guys out there. I always thought he was probably the most credible of all of them, but I don't know.
He was a dancer. He was an artist. He was a great performer. I think people tend to forget that. In the era that he came up in hip hop, dancing, performing, that was all a big part of it. Like, there used to be a time when you went to a rap show, you expected to see them dance.
Right. But
like, even the coolest dudes had routines.
The image he portrayed was gangster from the hood.
It evolved into that.
Right. So, but are they called on? Do they go on casting calls to get these roles? Is what I'm asking. Like,
What I
how
will
does
say
this?
is,
It's none of it's organic, is it?
one of my closest friends was very good friends with Tupac until the day he died, and still honors his legacy. Matter of fact, his son played him in the movie All Eyes on Me, Demetrius
Wow.
Shipp Jr. I tell you, anything that Demetrius Shipp Sr. says to me about Tupac, I believe wholeheartedly, without a doubt. I mean, he was there working with him for the movie Juice. Like, that's the beginning, G.
Wow.
Oh. Salute to Big Meech, Demetrius Shipp Sr., TDE official, King of the Crips. Tupac was not gay. Did they try to paint him that way because that's the way they wanted all the guys to go? Yeah. Which is part of the reason why his rebellion against all of the industry norms came out so loud.
Illuminati, right? Stuff like that. Like he went all in.
Yeah.
So you're gonna
God
tell me
bless him.
he was one of the realest ones? Tupac.
I'm telling you, of that era, he was the realest.
Wow.
Period.
That makes me feel a lot better. That's great. Man.
You know, there's a lot of people that get vilified because of their power and because of their impact. I was just having a conversation with my audience over on my channel and talking about the misconception behind Mary of Magdalene. Now, she was known, or should I say, she was said to be a prostitute.
Right.
You know that wasn't true?
I watched something, I think it was on A&E, talking about how she was actually, they're saying she was actually the forerunner of the apostles, that she was.
She was.
Yeah, okay, so I'm right.
She helped finance the ministry. She was possessed by demons, and Yeshua delivered her, and she devoted her life to spreading his message and to being there with him.
So she was the backer behind Jesus. So I was right.
And guess what? It was a Catholic Pope that labeled her a whore. And that became her reputation.
Interesting.
So
she was the muscle behind. So Jesus was the head, she was the neck.
Yeah.
Behind every great man.
Almost sounds like a marriage, huh?
Yeah, it does. Interesting, Jaguar.
Wouldn't it be very interesting if the things that they said about Yeshua are not true? What if he did marry? What if he did have a wife?
What if he had kids?
What if they had kids? I tell you one thing. A smart woman would want to protect her children and her lineage from those who would come to steal it, even if it meant being labeled a whore.
We'll end on that one, Jaguar. Yeah, I'll let my audience chew on that one for a little bit. Wow, this has been epic. This has been phenomenal. Jaguar, you will. So I can say
from one fighter to another.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You deliver some knockout blows. Yeah. You cracked me with some good ones. Jaguar, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. You're very well respected. I tip my hat to you. From one soldier to another, one digital soldier to another. Thank you. You're doing great work. You're doing amazing work.
Thank you for believing in yourself and believing in what you got inside of you that's telling you none of this shit is real.
Fuck, it's all an illusion.
None of this shit is real.
Yeah.
You know, and as a fighter, you understand mental clarity, mental toughness, but more than anything, endurance.
How to roll with the punches.
Exactly. And how to think past the punches.
Right. Stay calm under pressure.
You cut for it. So thank you. Thank you for bringing that, because there's not enough of that on the internet. We
There's
got a
not enough
lot of
men. There's not enough men in this fight willing to
no,
do this.
no. There needs to be a lot more men. There's a lot of people that were born male, but I don't know if I call them men.
I'm making masculinity great again.
Please, yes, yes.
Making masculinity great again, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
Oh,
let's
man.
make construction workers sexy again. Come on. Let's get
Not like
into
village
it.
people sexy, but you know. Sexy.
No. Oh God, no. God, no.
Oh man, Jaguar. So you'll be the general in the general's tent in February. I think I talked to your fiance about it. The 27th, 5 p.m. On ninoscorner.tv. Thank you so much, Jaguar, for coming on and joining me. You're awesome.
So are you.
Let's keep in touch, man. Seriously, this is good.
Let's do that.
God bless you.
All right, neighbor.
All right, folks. The unedited version will be on ninoscorner.tv. Get over there right now, $4.99 a month, or join the General's tent where Jaguar Wright will be the general in the General's tent February 27th, 5 p.m. She'll be taking your questions, folks. Get the unedited version right now on ninoscorner.tv. And believe me, folks, the General's tent will be fire. Later.